His Word is news. If you would like to hear more, please visit our website at www.hiswordheals.com. And a reed like a measuring rod was given to me, and this is John, of course, speaking about his vision. And the messenger stood, saying, Rise and measure the dwelling place of Elohim, and the slaughter place, and those worshipping in it. But cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it. For it has been given to the nations, or the Gentiles, and they shall trample the set-apart city under foot for 42 months. So John is given a reed-like rod. The word for rod in the Greek means scepter or staff, and a reed is flimsy, and the Greek word reed also can be a pen or writing instrument because they were made from reeds. So then a reed-like rod could indicate a written decree or law from those in power. Let me read that again and insert reed-like rod or reed-like scepter. And a reed like a measuring rod, or reed-like rod, or reed-like scepter, was given to me. And the messenger stood, saying, Rise and measure the dwelling place, and the slaughter place, and those worshipping in it. So what is John told to do with the reed-like rod or scepter? In the King James Version, he is told to measure the temple, the altar, and those that worship there, but not to measure the outer court, or outside the temple and altar, because it is given to the Gentiles to trample down for 42 months. So where it says it is given to the Gentiles, of course, the Greek word there means to the nations to trample down for 42 months. So measuring the temple and altar can certainly mean to rebuild it, but because you can't measure something that isn't built, or being built, something that isn't there or planned, that won't be measurable. So the temple either has to be planned or there in order to be measured. But let's look at the Greek word for measure. It not only means to actually measure something, but also means to add measure or allot by rule, meaning this reed-like rod or scepter, or, in other words, flimsy written law or decree, will allot or direct who has authority or rule over the temple altar and who gets to worship there. At the same time, this flimsy written law or reed-like scepter does not decree who can and cannot trample or be in the outer court or area outside the temple and altar. So it's not measured in this written decree that anyone has authority over it. In other words, it is given to the nations. There is no particular allotted rule over this outside area, everything outside the temple and altar. Instead, it will be given to the Gentiles or nations. For example, could that be United Nations, the world? Jerusalem, will be an international city, everything outside the temple and altar belonging to the world, all nations, given to the nations to trample underfoot. Here is Day 1 True News from the United Nations General Assembly, and when I heard this, I was pretty blown away that it was a second witness to what I'd put in this program.
Officials from the administration was present was, of course, Ivanka Trump, Jael Kushner. Her husband was not there, but the Commerce Secretary, Wilbur Ross, the Treasury Secretary were there. It was basically a cabinet meeting.
It was.
But it was very clear again that it was some kind of a compromise, some kind of a deal has been struck with the UN, because President Trump specifically said that what will be launched out of this Religious Freedom Initiative, which was first started by Secretary Pompeo last year as part of a ministerial level initiative, is that there will be an agreement where the UN would take over some form of protection. They were very vague with this, but some form of protection, even stewardship, over relics and holy sites throughout the world.
Right. Now, catch that, Rick, where they said the holy sites, yes.
So if I'm right, this could be the deal, the peace deal, possibly the one that Trump is working on right now. Perhaps he is going to be revealing a flimsy written decree that gives Israel an area on Temple Mount for a temple and altar in exchange for Jerusalem to be an international city for all nations to trample underfoot. And this time will last 42 months, perhaps? Likely during these 42 months, sacrifices will be reinstated, the nations will decry the killing of animal sacrifices, and then the Antichrist or Anti-Messiah will break the deal and take away the sovereignty or allotted rule of the Jews over the temple and altar by stopping the sacrifices. We are told that will happen in Daniel 12:11.
Wikipedia, status of Jerusalem. 3 times it mentions that it should have been an international city, according to the 1948 agreement. TheModerateVoice.com has a lengthy article. Jerusalem, an international city. You might want to read that again, that ModerateVoice.com, TheModerateVoice.com. And at the bottom it says, wars of religion and ideology have plagued humanity for at least 2,000 years, making Jerusalem an open, internationally governed city that ultimately welcomes all the world's religions on an equal basis may act as an antidote to religious conflict. Jerusalem could be a role model of pan-religious harmony, emphasizing spiritual similarity of all religions rather than the doctrinal differences. So this would kick off the 7-year tribulation. It would be given at the beginning of the 7 years and last 42 months. So let's look at... If you would like to watch the entire 26-minute video that this news clip came from, please visit Messianic Lamb Radio's Lamb Network YouTube channel and go to the His Word Heals playlist. Then click on the Yom Kippur, Revelation, and Peace Deal video link there.
Baruch haba b'Shem Yahweh. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, Abba, that through Yeshua you heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, and cast out demons. Thank you that you don't leave the fatherless without a father, the sick to be sick, nor the widows widowed. Abba, we know that there are many of your people all over the world that are going through trials and hardships right now, Abba, and you alone know their individual stories and the reasons for their hardships and trials. We pray for them right now, Father, the children that have been abandoned or abused, the poor that are without homes, the families that are separated or broken. We know that all of these hardships are caused by or are deserved result of the sins of mankind and are falling away from your righteous laws and right rulings. But we also know of your great mercy and love for us all, that you have provided a way back to you through your Son, Yeshua. We ask that your merciful Spirit, called the Comforter by Yeshua, would be poured out on your people, that we would turn and glorify you, that Yeshua's words would be burned into our hearts and our minds, and that your healing and provision would be poured out upon us all. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. Blessings and shalom to all of you and everyone in your home.